Hello everyone, I Dr. Anchal Sogi welcome you back to my lecture on Introduction to Marketing. In our previous lecture, we have discussed about marketing environment. Today we will be discussing about STPs, STP strategies. Now what is STP? What is STP? It is segmenting, targeting, and promoting. Segmenting, targeting, and promoting. Now, target marketing includes three activities, that is market segmentation, market targeting, and market positioning. Fine. So let us study these three strategies in detail. So first one is market segmentation. Now, have you ever thought why a company is having, for example, say 10 or 11 brands of toilet soap, 4 to 5 brands of detergent, 3 brands of floor cleaner, and 6 brands of shampoo, and so on and so forth. So why it is so? For example, if you take Hindustan Unilever, why it is having Dove, why it is having Rexona, why it is having Lifebuoy, why it is having Hammam, why it is having Pears, L'Oreal, Breeze, and so on and so forth. So all these are soaps. Why it is having so much variety of soaps? Why it is having shampoos like Sunsilk, Clinic Plus, All Clear, and so Clear shampoo? Then why it is having these segments of shampoos? So it is because these products are being targeted to a particular segment, particular group of people having common characteristic. For example, a person who likes moisturizer in soap, a lot of cream in soap, they will be using Dove. Or a person who likes to have neem, he will be having Hammam, and so on and so forth. So a company goes for multiple brands rather than a single brand, and the reason is because different customers have different priorities and different products have different product benefit. So on the basis of this, we divide the market or entire market into certain groups or segments based on these priorities or benefits. So by definition, market segmentation is dividing a market into distinct group of buyers with different need, characteristic, and behavior is called market segmentation. So what is market segmentation? It is a process of dividing market into distinct group of buyers with different need, characteristic, and behavior. So what is a segment? A segment is a discrete group of consumers enjoying common characteristic. The characteristic could be, for example, buying habit, taste, preference, attitude towards the product. It could be any. So if, for example, if we say this is an entire market, we could have divided these market into segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, and so on. So if we say, for example, if I have divided these three product offerings into 3 segments, targeting, for example, say segment 1 women, segment 2 men's, and segment 3 children, we could have these three segments. So men's will be having different kind of knit in terms of apparel or in terms of fairness cream and so on. Women's will be having it other. Children will be having it mild and so on. So we could divide this. This is an example. We could divide on the basis of various aspects, various factors. We could divide the whole market into different segments, and these are called segments. Segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, and so on. So, what is this? What is the characteristic of a segment? A segment is homogeneous from within, and it is heterogeneous from other segment. This means the characteristic of segment from within means segment 1 will be having same kind of characteristic. The customers in the segment 1 will be having same kind of characteristic, whereas customers in segment 2 having different kind of characteristic with respect to segment 1, but this within this segment 2 the customers will be enjoying same characteristic. So characteristic of segment 1 and segment 2 is different, but from within they have the same customer characteristic. Fine. So this is what the segmentation is. Now, basis of segmentation. Basis of segmenting a consumer market, let us take that. Let us study on what basis we could segment a consumer market. So what is a consumer market? We have discussed earlier also, where the people are purchasing for their personal consumption or their household or family use. So first basis on which we segment a consumer market is geographical segmentation. Geographical segmentation. When we are talking about geographical segmentation, it means dividing the market into basis of region, okay, or city, or country, or climate, etc. So, inside geographical segmentation, we divide on the basis of region, city, country, climate, and so on and so forth. Now, when we are talking about dividing them in this part, for example, take climate. The climate, if I am taking an example of our India, the climate in north of India will be more of, where we find more of hilly regions, will be different from that of south of India. So, the people will be having different kinds of need that also exist in North India and South India with respect to their the purchase habit. For example, if we are talking about the sale of ACs, so sale of AC will be more in which place? Either North India or South India. Obviously, it will be in South India, where we are having more humid climate, more hot climate. Okay, rather than we say the climate in compared to North India, where we will be having lesser sale of ACs because the climate is rather cooler there. Fine. So next is demographic segmentation. Next basis is demographic segmentation. So we have done what is geographical segmentation. Now second basis is what is demographic segmentation. Now what is demographic segmentation? Demography includes your age, family size, family life cycle, then your gender, then occupation, education, social class, and so on and so forth. So, demographic segmentation, now we could divide or market on the basis of age. For example, youth will be having different type of needs, and they will be catering to different kinds of product as compared to aged people. So, then family size or family life cycle, larger families, nuclear families, or the families where there is a newly married couple, or they are or middle-aged family where the family means where the children are grown up, going to school, they will be having different kinds of need. Okay, for example, a couple which is newly married, they will be focusing more on their recreational, going to various places, and if for example, and if the family is having grown up childs going to school, for example 10, 12, and their focus of family members will be more on towards their education. They will be focusing the more of the money will be drained into their education and other activities, rather than on recreational, or rather than on holidays, or like those. So age, family life cycle, then gender, the male will be having different kinds of need, females will be having different kinds of need, occupation. Definitely, the basis of occupation we also could divide. For example, if we are into the apparel business for men's shirts, the executive shirts will be different, casual wears will be different. Education, social class includes your upper class, middle class, lower class, or economically weaker section. So these we could divide the market on the basis of these factors, and they are included into demographic segmentation. Then next is psychographic segmentation. When we are talking about psychographic segmentation, it includes lifestyle, it includes personality, it includes your values, and so on. So, for example, psychographic segmentation, lifestyle, personality, values, all these are included in this. Person having particular lifestyle, if he's in, for example, busy families, their lifestyle will be different, where both husband and wife are working, children are going to schools, they will be having different kind of lifestyle. They will be needing more of automatic appliances and other technological appliances at home, compared to for example, compared to families where housewives are there, male member is working, female may not be working, and so on. So the lifestyle is different. The kind of job they are in also determines the lifestyle. Then the place where they live, the country where they live also shapes of the lifestyle. Then personality also. For example, if a person is using Parker pen, he says that why it suits my personality, and so on. Then values, what values the culture put in, what values the people derive from their family, all are there into the psychographic segmentation, and that is why they buy a particular product or they don't buy a particular product. So on the basis of values, lifestyle, personality, segmentation could be done. Next is behavioral segmentation. Behavioral segmentation, what does that includes? It includes the situation that includes benefit that includes user's rate, user status, and it also includes attitude towards product and so on and so forth. So behavioral segmentation, for example, the situation where the particular product are being used. For example, in Indian culture, if I talk about sherwanis, they are used. People wear these sherwanis during the family functions or their marriage and so on. So the marketer must know which is the season where marriages in India are more, which is the segment which will be focusing more on sherwanis or in suits or other things. Okay. So the situation, then benefit derived from product, what kind of benefit people wants to derive from a particular product. For example, people want that their tooth may not decay, they may be using Colgate because it focuses on reducing cavity, improving tooth. Then user status, how the user is using the product, how much user rate, how much he is using. For example, if we are talking about mild smokers and heavy smokers, there are different packs of cigarettes of 10 or 20 depending on the rate of uses of those cigarette packs. So then attitude towards the product also matters. These all are included into behavioral segmentation, and this is how the consumer market could be segmented. So marketer may segment a consumer market on the basis of geographical segmentation, demographic segmentation, so psychographic segmentation, and behavioral segmentation. So these are the four bases of segmenting consumer market. Now next, next is basis for segmenting business market. Basis of segmenting a business market. What is business market? Here the product are purchased for reselling purpose, for business use, not for personal consumption. Okay? So the product are purchased for the reselling purpose, for making profit, and not for the personal use. So there are certain bases of segmenting business market. First is demographic segmentation. We have also studied demographic in consumer market. The demographic segmentation in the terms of business market is also there, but there are certain other factors that we have to consider. For example, in demographic segmentation, it includes industry type, it includes your company or company type, location. So it includes your industry type, company or type, or company location, and so on. So this is what are there in demographic segmentation. For example, where is company located? Either it is located nearby the consumer market, or it is located far from the marketplace, or it is located at certain places where natural resources are abundant, and so on and so forth. So these are also the basis of segmenting the business market. Next is operating variable segmentation. operating variable segmentation. When we are talking about operating variables, so for example, technology. Technology is one of the operating variable. So then user or non-user status. User and non-user status, customer capabilities, etc. are the operating variables. So operating variables, for example, if we take out technology, the how well the technology is being adopted by a particular industry members or particular company, and how well the vendors respond to that technology, and all these things, if it is technology advanced industry or technology advanced company. So this is another kind of segmentation that we could have. The operating variable segmentation is that. On the basis of this operating variable, the type of or the nature of the product will also be determined. Then third is purchasing approach. Now when we are talking about purchasing approach, what is purchasing approach? Purchasing approach means if is the organization purchase functional organization. Is the organization purchase functional organization, or it is having the power structure? Power structure means there is authority lies into certain hands. Power structure, or then nature of relationship there, nature of relationship existing, and purchasing criteria. Purchasing criteria and so on. So purchasing approach includes your is the organization purchase function organization, or there is a power structure, or there is a what is the purchasing criteria there. For example, if certain companies are purchasing in bulk, certain are going for optimum size, it could be anything like that. So according to these purchasing approach, the business market could be segmented. Then next is fourth is your situational factor. Segmentation based on situational factor. Situational factor means, for example, urgency in purchase, or you could say size of order. Size of order, or we could say that there is a specific application. So means on the basis of this situational factor, is there is a very urgency in certain thing. For example, now the situational factor is that in the current scenario of COVID-19, there is a shoot up in demand of hand sanitizer, mask, and other hygiene and personal care products. So there is an urgency in demand of this. The people will be segmenting those on the basis of the kind of customers they have, and therefore the situational factor could also be considered to be as a basis of segmenting the business market. Then last is your personal characteristic. Personal characteristic. When we talk about personal characteristic means buyers and seller similarities. Buyer and seller similarities. Then risk taking, attitude towards risk. Attitude towards risk. So, are the vendors and industry members ready to bear the risk, share the risk, or they means they have the loyalty towards one another, or they have certain buyers and sellers similarities existing between them? On the basis of those similarities or attitude towards this or loyalty, the market could be segmented, and this is under personal characteristic. So we have studied basis of segmenting business market, where we studied demographic segmentation, operating variable segmentation, purchasing approach, situational factor, and personal characteristic. Next, criteria for effective segmentation. What is the criteria for effective segmentation? So, criteria, when we are talking about criteria for effective segmentation, it is not all segments are considered to be effective. Not all segments are considered to be effective. To be effective, segments should have certain characteristics. For example, we could say first, segment should be measurable. Measurable means people should be able to measure the number of demand that could be generated from the market, or number of customers that exist in the market. It should be measurable. Next, it is accessible. What is accessible? Means marketer should be able to reach to the market. The market should be accessible. It should be able to serve the market. Then differentiable. Differentiable means one segment should be different from other. So a segment should be differentiable. Means one segment that consumer or the marketer wants to serve should have the characteristics which are making it different from other segment. Fine. So it's differentiable. Then next is actionable. So the segment should be such that marketers are able to take proper action towards that. For example, they are able to cater to the changing needs of the market. They are able to design the product on the basis of changing needs and so on. Otherwise, there is no point in serving the market. So actionable, they are able to take the action, means they are able to make the required strategies for that market. It could be product strategies, market strategies, promotion strategies, anyone. Then substantial. When we talk about substantial means it should be big enough to be profitable. So any business is done for profit motive. So substantial means the segment should be big enough that it generates profit. So this was criteria for effective segmentation. Then second strategy is targeting. Second strategy under STP is targeting. So what is targeting or target market selection? So once the segmentation has been done, the next step for organization is to decide how it is going to target the particular segment or particular group that they want to serve. And for targeting, the companies have three options. First is the undifferentiated. undifferentiated marketing. Next is your differentiated marketing. Then next is concentrated marketing. When we are talking about undifferentiated marketing, it is also known as mass marketing. So here company has one product for entire market. Company has one product for entire market. And undifferentiated means, for example, Coca-Cola. Coke is being targeted to entire market, either youth or of all age or all segments. It is being targeted. So Coca-Cola is using one product for entire market. This is. Then next is differentiated marketing. Differentiated marketing means company wants to serve segment 1, segment 2, segment 3 and so on. So, if the company wants to serve all these segments, okay, here the company targets several segments, it develops several distinct strategies or product or services for each segment and designs marketing mix accordingly for varying group. For example, airlines. Airlines offers ticket for business class tickets and economy class tickets. They are targeting both the peoples, and their product is for business class people also, for economy class people also, and both have a different price and different kinds of services that is in there. Then concentrated marketing. When we are talking about concentrated marketing, means company, there are various segments. There are various segments, segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, but company wants to serve only one segment. Company wants to serve only segment 2. For example, Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce cars, they are targeting only the premium customer groups. They will be, what they will be doing is they don't let their car to be sold to any XYZ. They moreover they take into consider the background of the purchaser. They call CV, they analyze that, and then they decide to sell the car to them. And accordingly, these premium cars are being sold, Rolls-Royce. So that was all of targeting. And last strategy that we have is positioning. We have studied what is segmenting, what is targeting, now what is positioning. So before positioning, we should know what is product differentiation. What is product differentiation? So what is product differentiation? Product differentiation is act of designing a set of meaningful differences to distinguish a company's offering from competitor offering. Means how we will be designing our product in such a way that our product looks different, our offering looks different from that of competitors. Now there are certain differentiation variables. Now differentiation variables could be the product itself. So product quality, product features, product design, all are the differentiation variables. So next is services. So for example, if we take of product design, Pulsar was having a unique design when it was launched. The going down market share of Bajaj was little bit revived from Pulsar, but Pulsar in its segment was leading bikes which were being sold in market for years too. because of the design. The product itself is a differentiation. Product packaging is also differentiation. For example, Cadbury Celebration Pack and so on. The services. Services includes your ease of ordering, fast delivery, installation, and so on. The services, for example, if you are going to purchase an air condition, the installation, the ease of purchase, all will help you to differentiate your company's offering from others. If you are not able to serve the customer well, if you are not, a company is not able to give the services to the customer well, the customer will be moving to the competitor or the other company which is having the similar kind of product with better services. Then personal. When we talk about personal, the personal includes the responsiveness, the courtesy, the communication that the people are having. So these are also the differentiation variable, how courteous the person is in delivering or communicating the messages. Then channel. Again, channel is also a differentiating variable. Channel includes the channel expertise, the coverage, performance of channel, and so on. So another differentiation variable is channel. Now the last is image. Image is also a differentiation variable. For example, Apple having an image that the mobiles that of Apple are very secure, very good, best for business people, or like that. Or the image could also be built by the sponsoring certain events, like you could have World Cup is sponsored by Coca-Cola or Thumbs Up or Pepsi and so on. So image is another differentiation variable. Best example is of Apple, how it differentiates it from other image. So we talked about product differentiation. Now what is product positioning? Positioning is an act of designing. Positioning is an act of designing we define positioning. It is an act of designing the company's offering and image to occupy a distinct image into the minds of customers. So the customers would think once the brand name is there, when something comes into the minds of customer, they should form a certain kind of image. Okay? And positive image should be built for product positioning. For example, McDonald's is associated with what? Cleanliness, fast service, the consistency of the product, the taste that they deliver, and value for money. Another example could be Mercedes. Mercedes is associated with what? When you come to Mercedes, the image comes in mind. Prestige, world-class German engineering technology they use, the class that people carry while sitting in Mercedes. That is all the image that is. So positioning is not what we do to the product, but it is what we do to the minds of customers or the prospects. Now, what are the positioning strategies? What are the positioning strategies? There are certain positioning strategies. For example, attribute positioning. When we are talking about attribute positioning, means positioning could be based on the product characteristic features like that. So McDonald's, they have their positioning on the basis of world-class taste, the fast service that they deliver, the cleanliness that their stores have. All these are the attribute positioning of McDonald's. Then benefit positioning. When we are talking about benefit positioning, what is benefit positioning? But benefit is what the benefit the person wants to derive for using the product. So benefit positioning it is, for example, Sensodyne. Sensodyne toothpaste is used for sensitivity in tooths. So it removes the sensitivity in tooths. Colgate for fresh breath. They have mouthwash in it. So the benefit positioning. Then next is use positioning. Use or application positioning. when we are talking about use or application positioning, so it is, for example, Vicks VapoRub. It is for three things: closed nose, running nose, and sore throat. Means khasi, नाक बंद, जुकाम और गले में खिचखिच, like that they target, they advertise. So it is use and application positioning that the Vicks VapoRub have. Then next is user positioning. What is user positioning? User positioning is the people who are using the product, they position on the, for example, those who are using Duracell. Duracell says their battery is stronger and live longer. Parker pens. The people who are using, they say that Parker reflects their image. So that is the user positioning. Next is competitor positioning. When we talk about competitor positioning, positioning based on competitor's product. For example, you could say you have seen the advertisement of Tide and Surf. You have seen Thumbs Up saying ये बच्चों वाला cold drink नहीं. So Thumbs Up and Coke. So these are the comparison with competitors' product is being done, and the positioning of the product is done accordingly. So that is the competitor positioning. Thumbs Up and Coke, for example, Tide and Surf, for example. Then it is quality or price positioning. Last is quality or price positioning. Now, what is price positioning? For example, Reliance Jio. They got their positioning on the basis of delivering free internet, 4G internet at the cost lesser than the competitors. Okay, so they were low price and great speed. They position like that. So price positioning, quality positioning. Apple phones are means they are positioning the product on the basis of high quality. They deliver, though they charge a high price, but the quality that Apple phone carries is again a positioning strategy. So the type of positioning strategies that we studied here are attribute positioning, benefit positioning, use or application positioning, user positioning, competitor positioning, quality and price positioning. So this was all. Today, for today's lecture, we discussed segmenting, targeting and positioning strategies, and thereby we finish off with Unit 1 of Introduction to Marketing. Thank you.